again. Netanyahu goes before Knesset, says he wants to attack. Israel test fires missile. It's all over the news. They're going to probably attack.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
A very wealthy U.S. citizen is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He says it will change everything about our lives. The way you shop, travel, invest, educate your children, and even how you take care of your health and your own family. Now, this man has made some outrageous predictions over the years. The crazy part is, he's usually right. You see, he predicted the collapse of GM, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and America's biggest mall owner, General Growth Properties. In fact, Barron's called his work a dire prophecy. Recently, he created a video, which you can watch online for free, detailing his biggest and most important prediction yet. And it's a real eye-opener. I can't stress this enough. You should at least watch this free video online today. He explains everything you need to know, including simple steps you can take to protect yourself. You can find the video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica3.com. Watch the free video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica3.com. Hi, folks. This is Alex Jones. I'm looking for people that have the wisdom to spot savings, opportunity, and recognize risk. Saving means to make money. The Cal-Ben Pure Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soaps that are triple concentrated and twice as good as what you're using now. Soaps made from vegetable and coconut oils that contain no useless dyes, perfumes, deodorants, or antibacterials. Your risk is the hundreds of hazardous toxic detergents that give you rashes, itching sores, and deteriorating clothing called lint. If you want something better, if you want something you've never had before, you have to do something you've never done before. Getting a free catalog is easy by calling 800-340-7091 or see Calvin on the web at 5starsoap.com. Take charge of your health now by calling 800-340-7091 or see Calvin on the web at 5starsoap.com. Alex Jones here with vital information concerning our nation's fragile food supply. Folks, there are some truly dangerous trends forming, and I think it's important for my listeners to do three things right away. Number one, study the past. History really does repeat itself. Number two, learn to spot the dangerous food shortage trends. Number three, take decisive action. A perfect storm is brewing for a global food crisis. That's why I'm telling everyone to read the new book, Rising Prices, Empty Shelves. Warning signs that trigger the deadliest famines in history. Don't get caught unprepared when the crisis hits. This book is only available at risingpricesemptyshelves.com. You'll also get a free copy of Supermarket Survival, How to Cut Your Grocery Bills in Half. Again, that website is risingpricesemptyshelves.com. That's risingpricesemptyshelves.com. We are live. It is 11/3/11. I'm Alex Jones, your host. I'm going to mention again the unbelievably powerful lineup of guests and information that we have coming up today. I want to go back through that list for people that are just now joining us here in a moment. Now, continuing here with the situation in Israel, the fact that the system tried to come out and say that used car salesman, marijuana dealer, was going to blow up the Saudi embassy in D.C., the fact that it later came out even in mainstream news but buried in the newspaper that it was anti-Iranian government opposition groups that were in contact with him and Mexican drug cartels, and all of these former and current government experts came out and said this is phony, this is an excuse to attack Iran. That's what was happening 2.5 weeks ago. As troops are moved into Kuwait, as the buildup happens, as our military bases go on secret alert. And now Netanyahu goes before the Knesset yesterday and says, I want to hit them. Last Friday, Washington Times reports they've done the prisoner exchange to get rid of their Palestinian prisoners, give up 1,000 of them for one Israeli soldier. All of this is going on. All of this is happening.
right now, in a game of brinksmanship, they're coming in with more sanctions against Iran. Iran is scheduled in the next 2 weeks to load and fuel their reactors and to start purifying uranium. Now, the UN inspectors have been there, and they've said that they can't make weapons with this grade, but there's reportedly coming out next week an IAEA, International Atomic Energy Agency report, saying that Iran is secretly making fissile material. And Russia and China are protesting, saying the report is a fraud. That was in the news last night and today. This is all happening right now. You've got the fake report of the guy wanting to blow up the Saudi embassy. And you had Congressman King and others saying, hit Iran. It's on. So stop living in denial. Why would the government COINTELPRO want to come out and say there's no danger of Iran being hit? Shut up. It's not happening. It's all made up. Even now as the Israelis, and they were doing this 2.5 weeks ago. Panetta, the defense secretary, came back and said they're getting ready to hit. They're probably going to hit them. They're totally diplomatically isolated. The Washington Times, who's pro-war, talks to insiders last Friday and says Netanyahu wants to be seen as Churchill. He's politically a dead duck right now. He's not going to get reelected. This will get him reelected. And they're all right here in the news. And again, it's not that I get lied about and people say, oh, you know, Jones is crazy, just making it up that there's probably going to be an attack on Iran. I said the green light's been given. It's going to happen unless we expose this plot as a fraud of this Iranian car salesman in South Texas to do all this. Unless this is proven as a fraud now, they're going to use this to attack. And sure enough, it got proven as a fraud. So see, the government's doing two things here. The fact that I get attacked on this, it's not that it worries me that I'm being attacked over it. It shows me just how accurate we are. That they don't want Americans having a debate about the worst war yet of the 5 wars going on. So it's a military tactic, like when they're ramming into the Branch Davidians church with those tanks and saying this is not an assault, come out with your hands up, and they ran out and they mowed them down. We have the flare footage of the guys behind the tanks in an infantry tactic just shooting them and then running over their bodies and then bulldozing them with a Bradley fighting vehicle with a scoop on the front later back into the fire. And the ATF and Army posing with skulls and all the rest of it and blowing the little kids up inside the church records vault. That's the tactic, is we are not assaulting. So we're like, hey, you're getting troops ready. Israel's saying in their newspapers they're getting ready to hit. The U.S. is saying Israel don't attack. And they're moving troops into Kuwait telling them there's about to be an attack. And now you've staged this thing saying Iran was going to do this, clearly as a fake provocation. Hey, folks, they're green-lighting the attack. We better get the word out and stop it. They want to deny this is getting ready to happen so you don't politically put pressure on Washington to stop this. They don't want to debate about hitting Iran or not hitting Iran. They just want us out of the game. They don't want Americans having a debate. Because we've already come 3 times in the last 6-7 years within an inch. In 2007, Dick Cheney, now on record, and he admits it in his new book, ordered Fox Fallon, the head of CENTCOM, to attack, let me say this again, to attack Iran, and he didn't do it and had to resign. Then Cheney wanted to paint up blue patrol boats to attack U.S. ships there in the Gulf as a pretext. This has all come out. And the government said no again. So they're always trying to get this war going, always trying. Iran's almost 80 million people. They've got a lot more high-tech weapons than Iraq had. They weren't under decades and decades of sanctions and inspectors all over their country for 15 years and a bombed-out nation. And it is going to wreak havoc. I mean, they're going to block the Strait of Hormuz. Oil prices are going to explode. It's going to be a political diversion for the banksters to steal more rights and more money and set up checkpoints. They're going to use the Iranian war threat to start setting up the domestic checkpoints. Notice they're rolling out the EAS takeover alert in November 9th. First time ever FEMA and Homeland Security totally take over the media, whether you like it or not. Notice they've got the TV ads, the PSAs, all this stuff rolling, TSA popping up on the street corners, telling you, we're surveilling you. This is all being geared up and prepared for something big. But the globalists aren't going to move with this plan if we have a debate about it and talk about it and point out how it's all a setup. So they just want to treat us like we're idiots and say, there's no talk about hitting Iran. Anybody that says we're going to hit Iran is a crazy conspiracy theorist. But wait a minute, Netanyahu's before the Knesset saying he's getting ready to hit, and he's trying to get their support because it's a pretty big deal. No, he's not, Alex. Shut up, conspiracy theorist. But wait, I have AP, I have Sky, I have London Guardian. They all say they're getting ready to hit. Right here. I was right again that they're moving to, and they're like, no, Iran doesn't even exist. I mean, that's basically the mind game they play with us. And that's what really scares me. Is if I would have come out 2.5 weeks ago and said they're green lighting an attack on Iran, anytime, 2 weeks out and then on from that point, if I wasn't credible, the system wouldn't even care. That's why we know they're getting ready to hit them now. I mean, they're admitting it. We know we've been proven right. So it's that we're so right, we're so accurate, we have our finger on the pulse of the geopolitical system. That's why we're bad. That's why we have to be demonized. UK military steps up plans for Iran attack amid fresh nuclear fears. And what do they say at the end of the Sky Television article? It says U.S. troops are being moved into Kuwait. As I told you 2.5 weeks ago, it was not in the news at that time. I even told you they were going to try the invasion against Gaddafi, NATO-backed, in September, October. And, of course, it happened because I had military sources. And then you saw that happen. And then it got spun back, and they said, Alex is crazy. U.S. troops were never on the ground. They were admittedly on the ground. See, Obama says U.S. troops were never on the ground. You know why? Because they were under NATO flag. It's like saying our troops weren't in Bosnia. It was a UN operation. You see these little semantic games? It's kind of like Napolitano's now saying, I didn't perjure myself on Fast and Furious. We didn't call it that then. We called it Gunrunner. So I didn't lie when I said I didn't know about Fast and Furious because we weren't calling it that yet. I knew about Gunrunner. But they said, you did this gun running Fast and Furious. I know nothing about gun running. Then she gets caught. Oh, I knew about Project Gunrunner. I didn't know about Fast and Furious. Same program. They just gave it another name. They play these games with you like you're an idiot. Because it does scare the system that we've got our hand on the pulse so closely. That we know what they're doing. I saw articles attacking us 8 months ago when we were predicting that they would use a ground rebel force in Libya next and then call those the legitimate government and back it up with NATO attack. I saw our articles and my videos. Where was it? I think it was on Little Green Footballs, one of the neocon sites, attacking me at the time going, look at this loon saying they're going to attack through proxies Libya, and then exactly what I said happened. That scares the system that I know what they're up to. With spending dozens of hours every day with all these top experts and guests, reading hundreds of news articles a day, poring over data and history and strategies and proxy warfare. Obviously, this is not hard. It's all telegraphed. Okay, let's continue here now. You have just joined us during the kickoff of the 27-hour marathon transmission, second annual marathon transmission. I want to ask all listeners to go to Infowars.com. In fact, we'll put this on screen. If you go to Infowars.com, you will see there in the featured news area a link. I need to restart my computer in here. I don't think it's been restarted in a week or two, and it's just not working. So I'm unable to use my computer. I need somebody to fix that for me if you can. Thank you. Or during the break, I can run over and do it, I guess. Great. But the point I'm here making is if you go to InfoWarsMoneyBomb.com, that's the best place to find it. I was trying to tell you on Infowars where it's at. Yeah, there's Infowars.com. Scroll down, and then there's a link there that says Infowars launches 24-hour plus offensive against tyranny. And if you scroll down there, you see our video feed of the next 27 hours, and then you see our other backup, and then you see our Justin TV, and you see our Ustream and other systems. And we've had